Part 1. White Clouds. Lone Moon. Outset of a power struggle. Together, the people of Fodlan relish the beauty of the brilliant moon overhead as another year ends. They recall sad partings and new acquaintances alike, but each person must still walk their chosen path alone. With each day, the presence of spring grows stronger, and yet a lone moon still haunts the sky, a silent reminder perhaps of some inescapable truth.
You get it? Everyone has to walk their own path? Is Edelgard is walking her own path?
We somehow managed to escape.
This is one of the Imperial Army's provisional camps. Here we can organize our forces.
Before we go any further, I want all of you to really ask yourselves if you're certain you wish to join us. As expected, Flayn has chosen to leave our ranks.
When I saw our professor running off, I ran about as fast as I could to catch up.
Caspar, death finds those who run without thinking. You gave no thought to the war fog. My grandfather was the leader of Brigid, and I hope for us to be allies with the Empire. I will be staying.
Was this a good idea? Did I make the right choice? Oh, but my family is part of the Empire, and our professor is here.
You're fine here with us, Bernie. Though it's true certain houses were against the Imperial Princess.
I assume you're referring to my family. I must believe that the conclusion I came to was the correct one. You are the Emperor now. I am the only one left who is qualified to guide you at this point.
I'm only here because I know it would be troublesome to stand against you.
I'm not just here for you, Adi. I'm here to follow our dear professor. Of course, I don't have any territory to offer, so Hubie may not even want me here.
The greater our numbers, the better. Your reasons for being here are of no consequence.
I think I understand where you're coming from. But now, I wish to hear of your resolve. Like you, I have risen to meet my destiny. I cut this path, and I will see it through to the end. Following me is akin to pointing a sword at the goddess herself. One misstep, and we fall to our ruin.
Yeah, there's a little something there for everyone. It's not much, but, well, it is what it is. Good enough. Like Hubert said, their reasons don't really matter. The point is that they're still standing with Edelgard.
You have now witnessed the Archbishop's true self. She is a cruel beast. Those who rule this world use that beast's power to fabricate miracles, all to control those who blindly believe in the goddess. They conceal the truth and force their lies on the nobility. They mercilessly annihilate anyone who defies them.
This is all true.
Because I have lived it. After what you have seen, is there any room for doubt? The Church of Seros has great influence and power. Their control over the lords of the kingdom and the Alliance is nearly absolute. We are the only ones who can stop this indomitable enemy that has plagued our world for ages. We fight for humanity, for all of Fodlan. If you dare walk this path with me, take your first step. It's now or never. Thank you, my friends. We are the true face of the Empire, and we will triumph!
I love that the step was off screen.
That was incredible, Lady Edelgard.
Thank you. Honestly, I'm relieved. They really chose to follow me. I was resolved to move forward alone if I had to. But in my heart, I hoped it wouldn't come to that.
So long as I am here, you will never be alone. Please do not forget that. And
wow, Hubert.
It would seem that the professor also has a key role to play in this.
You're right. Now, I must speak with our dear teacher. Please, make preparations. The messenger should be here shortly.
Consider it done.
Professor, may I speak with you?
I guess I have no choice.
I appreciate it.
Alright, what's wrong? Come on, Emperor.
I'm just anxious. It feels like the weight of this burden is crushing me. At this very moment, on my orders, I'm starting a war. An army far larger than the one that attacked the Holy Tomb last month will soon be locked in battle. Long-devised strategies are unfolding across Fodlan. Leaders are deciding their loyalties and preparing to fight. So many generals and soldiers will die. It's inevitable that civilians will get caught up in the chaos as well. There will be countless casualties. With a single command, the flames of war will rage across all corners of this realm. And I am the one who is giving the order.
Well, Edelgard? I'd say she should have thought that through a lot earlier than this. But I guess the reason she's having these anxieties is because she has been thinking it. But, hey, this is what you asked for, isn't it?
Yes, it is. There is no turning back. No matter how much blood flows at my feet, I will not relent. We must break the bonds that the depraved church has placed on Fodlan. These sacrifices will allow us to create a future where we never need sacrifice again. It may seem contradictory, but it's the only way. Listen to me. I made up my mind long ago. Yet here I am, seeking your approval. Tell me the truth, my teacher. Are you happy with your decision to stay by my side? Unlike me, you can still walk away from all of this. This path leads to the death of the Archbishop and the servants of the Church. Can you live with that?
Yeah, I did choose this path too.
I never thought... I'm sorry, it was a foolish question. I believe in you, Professor. And you believed in me. With that knowledge, I have the strength to keep fighting. Let's go. There's something I need to say to Hubert.
Your Majesty, the latest report indicates that our main army is advancing as planned. Also, the preparations for your manifesto are almost complete.
Manifesto, huh?
We will be distributing our manifesto to every lord within Fodlan. We will expose the dark side of the Church of Seros, and the foul practices of the nobles from the Kingdom and the Alliance. We will force the people of Fodlan to open their eyes to the truth, and relinquish any remaining conviction to unite against the Empire. Certain nobles have already offered us their support.
Yes, there are other nobles who oppose the Church. We will condemn those who deserve condemnation, and forgive those who deserve forgiveness. We have already purged some of the Imperial nobles who are morally rotten.
Not sure I like that word. Purge.
How unfortunate.
And soon we will invade and conquer Garreg Mach. Our main army has already departed the Imperial capital. They will arrive at the monastery in 2 weeks' time. There we will join forces with them. As for us, I'd like your opinion on how we should be positioned within the army.
I guess we're the sword. Cutting through.
Your Majesty intends to fight alongside the Professor, correct? In that case, you will not be incorporated into the Empire's main army. Your squad can move freely about the battlefield under supervision of the Imperial forces. That would be most prudent.
Now that I'm the Emperor, we can't let it slip that I'm following your command in battle, Professor.
I fully object to the notion of you fighting on the front lines.
Hubert, we've already discussed this.
It'll be fine.
My apologies. I overstepped.
Now that the details are settled, all that's left is to come up with a name for ourselves. In honor of our time at the Academy, how about we call ourselves the Black Eagle Strike Force?
You know what? I love it. It is a good name.
I'm so happy you feel that way.
The Fighting
I must
Black Eagle
confess that
Strike
I
Force.
spent all night thinking about it. I'll leave it to you to prepare the Black Eagle Strike Force for departure.
Almost up there with the Fighting Mongooses. Another good team name. Right. Temporary encampment. So, facilities are limited. We do still have access to shops and, well, shops, blacksmith, Italian guild. But, no cooking. There's no sauna. No instruction. We're just gonna go for it after this. So let's talk to everyone. I know it's gonna take a little while, but at least we can do.
It is not up to Her Majesty to bring the students to our cause. That task falls to you. Those who have forsaken their homelands to join the Empire will be feeling vulnerable. You are uniquely able to provide emotional support. Please use that gift to guide others down the path that Lady Edelgard has laid before us. I ask you to do this from the bottom of my heart.
So I think what we're going to see is that everyone's got some tenuous reason for siding with the Empire. We're going to explore those reasons.
Surprised that I'm here, are you? I know a winning side when I see it. I mean, there's no way I'd risk my neck and my people by willfully joining a losing battle.
And this is a good thing that Yuri's talking about, because he was working for Rhea before. So, yeah, we'll point out he really does care for his people.
We'll see how this all shakes out. Well, it depends on how we, and you, fight. Regardless of who comes after us, even if it's the Knights, we've got you on our side, so it'll all be fine.
Constance.
I knew nothing of Lady Edelgard's past or of her innermost feelings. But I know now. I persuaded her to tell all. It would have been rude to hound her relentlessly until she revealed herself, yes? Then that's certainly not what I did.
Right, Constance. Thank you. Alright, Edelgard, what do you have to say?
We will join forces with the main army and attack Garreg Mach. It's a fortress built on steep ground, but it's never seen battle. That means we don't know much about it from a military perspective. But if we use all of the power at our disposal, we will capture it.
Oh, we definitely will. Have to try.
From a purely mathematical standpoint, we most certainly have the power to win. If the battle becomes a clash of beasts with inhuman strength, you will be our only hope. I believe in you. I'm relying on you to lead the Black Eagle Strike Force to victory.
Alright, Happy, how are you feeling about all this?
With the Empire taking over Garreg Mach, I wonder what will happen to Abyss. Some people have spent their whole lives there. For their sake, I hope Abyss doesn't get trampled into ruin.
I'll take care of it.
Thanks. You
course
should
I
try
will.
talking about it with Eddie. I mean, Her Majesty. She might listen to you. Also, this is less important, but if somebody trashes my room, I'm gonna be mad.
Did not expect to hear Happy call Edelgard Eddie.
What's the deal, pal? You don't want me here? Come on, have a heart. This side is where all the action is. Look, I'll level with you. I want to help that Edelgard gal achieve her goal. I mean it. If Her Majesty gets what she's after, my mother will... Forget it. Now's not the time. We've got to keep our heads in the game so we can win, yeah? Having Yuri on our side will help things. He's not someone you want to have as an enemy.
Interesting. Of course, these two are
The
joining.
most important nobles in the Empire are known for taking power from the previous emperor, my father included. I didn't think it possible that the Imperial Princess could ascend the throne so easily. However, it seems that both my father and Caspar's are supporting Edelgard. Having both the Minister of Domestic Affairs and Minister of Military Affairs on your side gives you total control over the Empire's military and finances. They must have been making preparations for quite some time without anyone noticing.
That could have gotten dangerous fast. If I stayed at the monastery, I would have had to fight my father. We aren't especially close, but he's not an opponent I'd want to face. I'd almost rather fight a monster. Anyway, it looks like he's going to be leading the western units. I wonder if we'll wind up fighting the Kingdom's army, and who decided to fight for the church.
Well, never did see Caspar's father before. Hey Ferdinand, how you doing?
I asked Edelgard what happened to my father. He was dismissed as Prime Minister, and is under house arrest in the Imperial capital. He always was a greedy, arrogant man. Some would say that this is the fate he deserves. And yet I cannot help but feel indignant. After all his hard work for the Empire, to be disgraced like this. I am conflicted, Professor. I do not know what to do. As the next Duke Ire, should I follow Edelgard into battle?
Alright, I guess that conflict is reasonable.
Edelgard became emperor and raised an army, huh? Who knew the kid had it in her? I mean, yeah, of course, I knew she'd be emperor eventually, but the more I think about it, the more surprised I am. I wonder who's gonna win.
We will not lose.
Thinking about it makes me scared. We're fighting the Knights of Saros. Still, I know you'll figure something out.
Of course we will.
The Empire and Bridget were once warring with each other. But now, I have made the decision to be fighting with the Empire. It is a choice of irony, I feel. But I am having no regrets. My belief is with you, and with Edelgard.
Alright.
Come on.
Bernie, how are you feeling?
I don't even get my own room here. At least I get that at home. But speaking of home, Hubert told me something. He said my father was stripped of his title. I guess he did as he pleased and opposed Edelgard. Wait, does that mean my father's going to be home all the time now? On second thought, I think I'm fine right here.
Alright, it's a bit of a smaller personal reason, but I'll allow it.
Imagine making half the world your enemy for the sake of realizing your own ideals. Edelgard is so radiant and strong compared to someone like me. What if I have the power to change the world too? Even just a little bit.
Alright, Marianne is getting some inspiration. That's good to hear.
Professor.
Annette.
Professor? I'm okay with fighting whoever we need to, but I really don't want to battle my father. Oh, but I know that something is wrong with the church. And more than that, I believe in you, and I trust your word. You lead, and I'll follow.
Alright, the church has had some, what's the word I'm looking for? Not quite shady, but certainly, some suspicious activity. It is pretty messed up how quickly Rhea will execute someone.
Yes. That's so. I've been preparing to take this path.
Really, Felix?
My own path. Not my old man's, and not the boar's.
Oh. Okay, that makes sense. Man, a few words, but that does add up. Leone, what do you have to say?
You've turned against the church to ally with the Empire too, huh?
I've never pressed him for details, but Captain Gerald was always suspicious of Lady Rhea, wasn't he?
He
I'm
was.
on your side no matter what. I promised him I'd support you, and that's what I plan to do.
Right, so Leonie's in it because of me. Cool.
If
Lysithea.
the church is behind the current state of things, this society in which only crests are valued, then I have no need of it. Edelgard is taking the shortest path to change. No matter how drastic her measures, I agree that this is the only way. That said, if Edelgard strays from her noble path, I trust you will set her straight again. Won't you? I am counting on you, Professor.
That's kind of the plan. Right, we've got Raphael and Ignatz over
No
here.
need to worry about me. I got no complaints as long as my little sis is safe. Sure, I lived on Alliance land, but that doesn't mean I serve their lords. I'm sure this is the right path, seeing as you're the one who picked it, Professor.
Thanks, Raphael.
To think things would come to this. Even a few months ago, I never could have imagined it. I believe in you, Professor, so I'm steeling myself. I can't promise that I'll be useful in battle, but I'm not running away from the fight.
Oh, it's funny because Ignatz will not be useful in battle. Hey, Ash.
I can't bring myself to trust the Church of Seros. Not after they killed Lenato and my brother. I need to know the truth.
That's fair. That's reasonable.
Even if it means turning my weapon on Fargus. I guess Lenato would be happy to hear me say that, if he were still around.
Following in your adoptive father's footsteps. Oh, hey. I recognize these two.
I believe that this is the first time we have met. My name is Ladislava. I have the great honor of leading Lady Edelgard's personal guard. Her Majesty is as hard on others as she is on herself. She may seem composed, but that is only because she conceals her more passionate emotions. For that reason, she is often misunderstood. But now she has you by her side. I find that most reassuring. I look forward to working with you.
In the other routes, she's the one who guards the Great Bridge of Myrden.
I'm Randolph von Berglies. I'm not very high in the ranks yet, but I'm more or less a general. Just like Caspar, I'm from House Berglies. My mother married into House Berglies after I was born, so my position within the family is rather lowly. But I'm determined to make something of myself in this battle to bring glory to my part of the family, for the sake of my mother and sister.
Interesting. He's the guy who leads the Imperial unit that notices that you're back at the monastery in all the other routes. I didn't know that he was related to Caspar through that he was Caspar's like stepbrother.
I've decided to ally myself with Lady Edelgard. Father will doubtless understand my reasoning. House Gloucester has always had good intentions in its dealings with the Empire. Of course, this does mean I will no longer be able to avoid a confrontation with Claude. It is unfortunate. We were classmates after all.
Lawrence did always have his own, did always believe in his own judgment for the sake of the Alliance. Weird that that means he's siding with the Empire and
I've gone and done it now, huh? What would my old man say if he knew I'd sided with the Empire? His Highness must be angry. Dimitri gets super scary when he's like that. I wonder how I'm going to die. Ugh, my knees turn to jelly just thinking about it. No, I can't think that way. I promise to fight alongside you. I'm here until the end. Listen to me. I'm terrified, but I feel so calm.
Alright. Sylvain stealing himself as well.
Surely this is what the goddess willed, isn't it? I feel she would not have wanted the Church of Seros to become what it has.
Well, that's a very simple reason from Mercedes, but I don't think she's wrong.
I may return to Galatea territory and try to convince my father to join our cause. It's possible that... No. In my heart, I know that my father won't listen. Still, I must get him to see reason. That this is the only way to ensure our family's future.
Alright, is that everyone?
Right.
Yes, that's everyone. Not seeing any other speech bubbles around here.
Oh. Yes.
Ah, yes.
Well, that's it. We do have a couple of important supports. I'm just gonna... Honestly, I'm just gonna focus on the ones that have been time locks until now. So that means Edelgard, Baeleth, Part B.
I'm so sick of it all. There is so much to be done, yet all I encounter are new problems and pitfalls. Sometimes I wish I could spend just one day doing absolutely nothing and gorging myself on sweets.
Wow. It's funny that this is happening right on the brink of battle. But, sure, let's do just that.
Do you mean it? Just the thought makes me happy. But Hubert would never allow it.
Not too bad.
Indeed. It may not be possible now, but one day we will know the joys of idling. Mark my words. Is that a smirk I spy? Is it so amusing to you, me daydreaming of free time?
Kind of. Oh... No, it's a misunderstanding.
Your silly grin says otherwise. But let's put all
Hold
that
out.
aside for now. There is something I've been meaning to tell you. I'm afraid this might sound a bit sentimental. However, I want to thank you. Because of you, I feel I can walk my fated path without losing myself. If I were alone, I might have lost perspective and become a harsh leader with a heart of ice. But I'm not alone. With you by my side, I'm somehow free to be not only a leader, but simply Edelgard.
Oh, so yeah, that's kind of a hint of how things are going to change. Edelgard is not going to be the same Edelgard that we fought against in the other route. It's going to be different, just because she knows she has her dear teacher on her side.
Until now, no one has been able to surpass me, much less command me. I have always been seen as an untouchable princess or emperor. No one spoke to me as an equal or met my gaze without flinching. It was lonely, terribly lonely. The only person I could rely on as I tried to claw my way out of the darkness was myself. But you have been a brilliant light. Somehow you have chased the darkness away. And for that, I will always be grateful.
Can't get that conversation until this point in the game where you side with Edelgard. Lysithea also had the support conversation that was locked
Edelgard,
until now.
Do you have a minute?
You want to speak with me? How unusual. Please, come in. I'll prepare some tea for us.
We'll just ignore that this is set in the
Have a
monastery
seat.
itself.
Would you care for some cake?
Yes, please. I never say no to sweets.
They're from Enbar. A bit too sweet for my own liking.
Isn't that the whole point of cake? Well, more for me. These are fantastic with this tea.
True. Well, there's no shortage of them. Help yourself to as many as you like. Now then, you wish to speak with me?
So, I can tell you know a fair bit about me.
Maybe this can wait until you've finished eating?
Edelgard, you know a fair bit about me, don't you?
What in particular?
For example, the fact that I have 2 crests.
Oh, that's hard to believe.
No need to play coy with me. It won't work. It's clear my body has succumbed to the intense pressure of bearing 2 crests. Due to the immense requirements of bearing these crests, my life expectancy is painfully short. You know all of this, right?
Actually, this is the first I'm hearing of it. How would I know unless you told me?
Still won't drop the act, huh? Despite how obvious you've been with your concern about my health, you're certainly consistent. I'm not really in the mood for these games. Given your rank, you certainly have access to all kinds of information that others do not. Clearly, you'd have heard all about me.
Either way, I know now since you just told me. About your 2 crests, your physical weakness, and your short life expectancy. However, according to the principles of crest research, it's impossible to bear 2 crests. Unless you've undergone a blood reconstruction surgery. Is that the case, Lysithea?
Correct. It wasn't as though I had a say in any of this.
I see. So you've lived through that relentless terror and agony, and survived.
You speak of all of this as though you understand it on a personal level. Edelgard, have you?
You're a good friend, Lysithea, and a valuable member of this army. So I won't have you overexerting yourself. I don't want to lose you. Understand?
I understand.
Good girl. Oh, and if you like those cakes, why not take some with you for later?
There's no need to pander to me, but yes, I'll take those. Thanks.
They're starting to connect on something of a shared experience. I think Ferdinand and Constance. Yeah. That was also time locked.
Hello, Constance.
Greetings, Ferdinand. My condolences on your misfortune that our paths have crossed again.
Oh, dear. I am not used to hearing you deprecate yourself like that. Never mind. Just listen.
If it is an audience you require, I will endeavor to meet that need.
When we last spoke, I was attempting to connect with you, to listen and show you some empathy. But I was so clumsy with my words that I came across as callous and conceited. I hurt you. I know.
The notion that a noble of House Ire could display arrogance is difficult to credit. That you even deign to speak to me is a testament to your humility. As grateful as I am for the honor, it would be best for us both if I take my leave.
Oh, Constance.
No, please, hear me out. Though your words chafed, I see now that they were perceptive. I was being arrogant. I tend to overcompensate. Perhaps I make a fool of myself, bragging about my superiority to Edelgard.
You do yourself a disservice. If you are a fool, then I am folly herself. But you must know that it is no reflection on your sterling quality, Ferdinand. Even in the face of such adversity, you never strayed from the correct path.
If this was the right path, the wrong path hardly bears thinking about. Still, your kindness has eased my worries a bit.
A wise noble once said that life is a series of peaks and valleys, but I have struggled to find the peaks. I was once pushed to the nadir of a valley, and have spent my days confined there ever since. There is little chance that I will ever return to the heights I once knew, but it will not be for lack of trying.
Your persistence is admirable.
You are too gracious. I see the highest of peaks on your own road. The way is steep, but not long. You will reach it yet. And if my words might reach the ears of a man who has attained such heights, perhaps one who has reached his summit might pull a climber up behind him? Such is my heart's desire, unspeakable though it may be.
Weird that that would be time locked to this point in the story, but I guess it is what it is. Now, all the others, those can wait. For now, we've got Big important battle to fight.